I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, let's do a quick market update, this time for fall 2021. Not much to report from my last updates here. The stats from the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board, which I always throw that out there, is the only true source for real estate statistics for Vancouver. Vancouver Real Estate Board. Every month they put out their statistics package. Be very careful with other statistics you see out there. Most of them, the ones that I see oftentimes, are massaged, heavily massaged. So the story moving forward here into the fall is like it was in the summer. Sales to active listings ratio, which is one of the best stats, is still in a pretty strong seller's market. Very low inventory. Some of the lowest inventory we've had in over a decade. And listen, inventory in Vancouver is always fairly limited, especially good quality one bedrooms downtown or in Mount Pleasant. Good detached homes on the east side are always fairly rare as hen's teeth in a lot of cases, but this is at a different level now. Very low inventory. Our sales to active listings ratio right now sits around 33-34. So just to give you an idea, anything above 20 is considered a seller's market. Anything between 12 and 20 is balanced. Anything below 12 is a buyer's market. And, I've often said here, for every 10 years, for every decade, we probably only go into a buyer's market across the board. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years out of every decade. We might be in a balanced market for another 3 or 4 years every decade. But for the most part, 60% of the time, 70% of the time, we're in a seller's market. That's just the way it is in Vancouver. Trickle in supply, highly desirable city to live. We don't build much here. Incredibly difficult to get anything done here or anything developed. A lot of it is due to the city of Vancouver and all its bureaucracy. But we've got other things here hampering us. It's the agricultural land reserve, the ocean, the water, very little buildable land available. And then throw in the COVID situation with labor shortages and supply chain problems and material costs and all that good stuff. So we're still in a strong seller's market, very little inventory. I've got a number of buyers I'm working with, and it's just a wait and see, keeping an eye on the MLS for the right unit, the right home to come up. They're all pretty much doing holdbacks, meaning they're listing them and showing them for a week and then looking at offers the following week. If it's a good one-bedroom condo, or in some cases a good two-bed, or if it's a starter level detached home in an area like Richmond or Burnaby or East Van, you're probably going to be getting into competition, multiple offers on those, depending on how they're priced. So not much has changed. Owners right now are sitting tight. And I've talked about this many times before with the difficulty in getting mortgages now and moving up market and the stress test. It's hard for people to move up market. In other words, go from a one bedroom to a two, or go from a two bedroom to their first detached home, because there's so little inventory. They don't want to take the leap, is the other thing. They don't want to sell their two bedroom condo in Yaletown and then wade into the market trying to find a detached home. What if we can't find a detached home before we close on our current home? Well, you're going to have to rent for a while. Rent a furnished apartment short term. Some people are willing to do that. Some people just don't want the uncertainty with that, especially if you've got kids. So owners, I find, in a lot of cases, are sitting tight, and I don't blame them. Nothing out there for them to move up to. And so it kind of perpetuates the problem. The other thing with our current low interest rates, it of course boosts affordability and what you can buy. But the other thing is I've talked about it with the calculator.net and what 1.2 or 1.3 or 1.4% interest rates are doing to your principal. So, by sitting tight, it's not like you're paying 8 or 9% to hold the house, and most of it's 90% of your payment is going to interest charges. Nowadays, 70, 80% of it's going to principal payment. So by sitting tight, it's not such a bad place to be, because for every $4 you're paying for your mortgage, $3 of that is coming straight off the principal. Last couple of things here. Was talking with a colleague. I've got a number of other realtors that I meet with periodically. We'll have a cup of coffee, talk business. What kind of buyers are you seeing? Stories from the front lines here. We got talking about Gastown. I saw a number of articles recently in the local newspapers here talking about the problems with Gastown right now. Bob Rennie was also talking about that in that talk that I took in a couple weeks back. His office is right in the heart of Gastown, and how crime rates have spiked, vandalism, break-ins. These poor businesses down in Gastown, and in other parts of the city too, the West End, even in Yaletown, have seen a huge surge in break-ins and vandalism and broken windows. But of course, Gastown, being so close to the downtown east side, has been especially hard hit. And it's turning into, talking with a number of realtors, almost a no-go zone. I know I have not been showing properties at all in the Gastown area because it is getting pretty rough. Now, I think it will turn. I think once we get out of COVID, and maybe if we get a mayor, where is our mayor on this stuff? Where is Kennedy Stewart on this crime and coming to the defense and sticking up for business owners here? He stays awfully quiet, this guy. We need to really get a handle on some of the petty crime and vandalism and open drug use and all that stuff. I know some of it, of course, is a result of COVID here. But, we're a year and a half into this. We're kind of coming out of it. We should be turning the corner here and getting a handle on some of this stuff. And I've been reading in the newspapers here and talking to other realtors, and again, especially in that Gastown area. That also is probably strengthening the market in other areas. People are getting out of Gastown and going to areas like Yaletown and the West End and Cole Harbour. But where is our mayor on this? They really need to step up. But that's where the market's at right now. I'll do another update this winter on it. Not much has changed. It's the same old story here. Not much for sale. Owners holding tight to what they've got. They don't want to make that leap if they want to move up market because they're afraid of selling and not being able to get back in the market or find something, which I don't blame them. So they sit tight. Interest rates are low right now, or incredibly low. So it's not a bad place to be sitting tight because you're crushing that principal balance every month with your mortgage payment. It is what it is. Stay tuned. I'll do another blog in the next few months on where we are this winter, see where the market's at in inventory. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.